Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome into Attacking Third. I'm your host, Darian Jenkins, joined by Christin Cupo and NWSL US Women's National Team member McCall Zerboni. Welcome to tonight's All-State Continental Classico. We are going to be recapping Canada versus US Women's National Team. US Women's National Team, not a 4-0 game, but we got a 3-0 one. I thought we were going to go 3-for-3, but I am psyched to discuss it. Whether you're listening as a pod, you're here on GalazoNet, welcome. Thank you for joining us. If you're in the chat, throw up some cues. We want to hear from you tonight. Ladies, rounding out the friendlies, how are we feeling? Are we feeling like much more confident after these friendlies rolling around? Cupo, let's start with you.
I feel like, Canada ranked 8th should have been a bigger test. I don't feel like we've really kind of thrown them into the frying pan, like Emma has sort of said. God knows she loves her metaphors and analogies. But I think this is probably the best testing thus far that they've kind of gotten. I feel confident in that we've kind of seen so much rotation, so many debutantes. I think that it's really exposed some of the quality of the players that have been intermingling in between here, where they seem to have chemistry with everyone. Like for me, it makes somebody like a Michelle Cooper stand out more because I'm pretty sure she's got chemistry with the doorknob. She's like, I could turn this into an assist. I can run this back. Like, um, exquisite. So I think that some of those underpinnings, plus seeing some of these vets come back in, like Rose, who we know is a difference maker, has always been a difference maker, has been a hub of creativity for this US women's side that nobody else truly possesses. So it's nice having her back in, having Gurma slide back in, but some of the youth that even recently has been very surprising in a very composed, positive way.
Definitely, I hear what you're saying with that, and I think the things we were getting away with against Jamaica and Ireland, we weren't exactly getting away with today, but yet we
Yeah.
still found a way to get 3 on the board. So that was positive for me. But you can see as we go against a higher ranked country that it's a little bit more difficult for us to get goals in and execute against them. But also, I love seeing Canada coming out and pressing us. I wanted to see what we
I do
did in a
too.
pressing environment. They couldn't hold on to it for that long. They only pressed us for like 5-10 minutes. And I almost guarantee you that the US knew that was going to happen. So they all agreed, hey, early on in the game, let's just pop some long balls over the top. And so when you do that, they'll naturally start retreating because they have to gain respect because they don't want to turn and run all the time. So once they knew to send some long balls and beat that press, then they created more space for themselves. So it didn't last their whole game. And I would love to see them be pressed for 60 minutes and how they handle it. But the fact that we know automatically how to take control over a game with a pressing team is really positive for me from Emma and the group.
Yeah, it
Question
showed a
for you
lot of
both. Given Canada's recent form, were you surprised that they looked as messy as they did tonight against the US? Or do you think that that's just a symptom of playing the US?
I think that's a symptom of playing the US. I don't think you can go play the US and not adapt your game at all. And I think Canada did, which that just causes so much uncertainty. You only get a limited amount of time together. Casey Stoney has not been with this team long, granted. They don't also get the same amount of camps that US soccer does just because their federation doesn't have as much money as US soccer does. So I think we're seeing some of those dust bunnies kind of come out in how they can adapt against a team like the US who, oh, what, you're going to press us? Cool, we'll go long. Oh, you're going to sit back? Okay, let's play 3v2 everywhere you're on the pitch. I think they're not to that same level of quick adaptability that the US has in a game. But McCall, do you feel differently?
No, I think Canada came out very timid and acted intimidated the way that they played the entire match. Like even players that we see week in and week out with the NWSL that have a little bit more confidence and stature and presence about them. Today they just seemed really uncomfortable in their own skin, and also because they were so in their own head. What that does is it limits your ability to connect with the rest of the people around you because you're so concerned about your performance and your confidence. So they were very disconnected, disjointed, and they weren't able to create anything going forward either.
Yeah, it was tough. But let's go through the starting lineup for the US Women's National Team because they were playing at a familiar field to all of us, Audi Field here in DC. Love that stadium. It was a sold out crowd. And we had total of 10 changes. But if we go back to the first lineup against Ireland, only one change, and that was McCall. You called it. Lynn Biondolo starting at the 9 for Ali Setnor. So it was Claudia Dickey in the back, Avery Patterson, Emily Sonnet, Naomi Girma, Lily Reel, Rose Lavelle in the middle with Claire Hutton, Sam Coffey. I'm really digging that trio. Cooper and Lynn Biondolo and Alyssa Thompson up top. Now, looking at these last three lineups, McCall, do you think this is the strongest one that they could have put out?
This is exactly the lineup I would have chose with who was in camp this trip. However, one comment I can say or ask is there a world where we can get Setner and Rose on the pitch at the same time? So I know that we need Claire's passing. I think she's more echelon in her passing than Setnor would be, but then Setnor is a better dribbler and can pick apart the opponents with, commanding respect on the run with the ball. So Coffey could hold in an upside down triangle with Rose and Setnor both exchanging turns to get forward.
Oh, wow. So you'd want the pivot to be at the 8 and the 10.
Yeah, like a double
Not
10.
so much at the 8 and the 6.
Double 10, 1-6.
Kupa, how you feel about that?
I mean, why not? In the grand world of Emma's experimentation, why don't we try that? I mean,
now that we put it out, it's probably going to happen.
Yeah, like as you were saying that, my brain was going to like, oh, maybe she means like just flipping somebody in like a Sam Meza that she was like kind of trying out. But again, that was more defensive minded, not throwing up like 2 10s essentially and trying to see. I mean, why not? Like, I'm just thinking about like the other people that we have. So when you have like a cat back into the lineup, and you can kind of tinker a
we
little
got to
bit.
be here and now, though.
I know. I'm sorry. I reach for the stars.
I love this though because Kat is so different than Lynn. Kat checks.
Yeah, it's a different tempo.
Lynn stretches. Lynn creates space for people underneath and the wide channels because she has so much pace and threat in behind where she's elongating the game and creating space in between the lines for everybody else, like a Setnor and like a Rose to work in. Whereas Macario drops and almost squeezes your own space sometimes.
Yeah.
I like the tinkering. Maybe can we clip this and send it to Emma?
Try this.
You know what?
Have you tried this position?
It's such a testament, though, to seeing how Emma Hayes has gotten the best and knows how to tinker and put people in positions where they're going to thrive. You're not going to play certain players together who don't complement each other in a game that they would. I think everybody can, but the recipe has to be right. And Emma's the chef cooking it up. But with that, the U.S. came out swinging in the first half. I thought that they looked really good. They looked hungry from the jump. McCall, you said it. They saw Canada was pressing and said, bet, we'll go over the top. And 17th minute in, Sam Coffey, another one. 3 goals in 5 matches. I mean, she's been absolutely impressive. And Kubo, I know you're a Sam Coffey stan with the shirt tuck. Tell us about her goal.
My God. You know what? It's funny because her goal, so going back to Patterson, who I'm sure we will get to, Patterson was going in that teeth bared too. She's actually the one that taps that ball down, and then Coffey just smashes that with full intention. But I love how it's like, oh, that was my goal still. Like that's got to be her trademark celebration at this point, right?
Yeah, like she's like as shocked as everybody.
It needs to be like pearl clutching, like, oh, that was me. That was me. That was me. Like, beautiful off of a Rose free. Like that ball came in hot, and you know what? It's funny how where it was going, both she and Patterson were both like, I got this. Coffey called her off. She tapped it down nicely for her and just smash. Like that's how you execute. And I mean, again, we've had some set piece woes, but like that's not one of them. I think that's one of the bright spots that we're seeing coming out of this, especially all these shifting plates, doors, people. This is good. This is progress.
Well, shout out to Christine because, sorry, McCall, really quick. Christine hooked us up with the stat. It's been 2 years since U.S. Women's National Team has scored off of a corner. The last time a goal came from a corner was Lindsay Horan during the 2023 World Cup group stage in June of 2023, also assisted by Rose Lavelle. It has been that long. McCall, how impressed are you? Because the second goal by Claire Hutton was also... off of a set piece, ball whipped in beautiful from Rose Lavelle. She just jukes out her defender, gets into a prime spot, leaps over her, puts it away. Second goal of the night. second set piece goal. How impressed are you with how much
Replica
US
of that
soccer?
goal. Like,
Yeah, how
come
impressed
on.
are you with US soccer, McCall, with how much better they've gotten with set pieces?
Do you want to know my favorite moment of the night tonight? Yes,
What?
finishing on set pieces, because when you get to major tournaments, I'm telling you, we're already seeing it in the Euros from today. Set pieces, set pieces, set pieces. They are the difference. But my most favorite thing that happened today was the two players that scored in the first half. Both of them, immediately after they scored, pointed to the crest after their goals.
Yeah.
And that says to me the honor, the desire, the commitment, the common ground, the mutual understanding that has been achieved and adopted by this player pool under Emma is worth so much. And we have an identity and a foundation that is only going to go up from here. And it like almost made me want to cry. I was like, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, that gives me chills to think about, because I think for so long it almost felt very individual with US soccer. It felt like everybody was there, but it didn't feel, just being a spectator, as a full team. And I think now you just see the pure heart out of every single player. It is us versus everybody. You can see that
Yep.
they're just a team that is totally bought in and in it. But what are your guys' biggest players that stood out to you? If we're looking at just this game in particular, who was maybe your player of the match through both the halves?
Coop.
I think for me, Cooper again stood out just because she does. Coffee, but like, do we say Coffee? Because I just expect her to be there. She's kind of like, I can't imagine the midfield without her in a way. Like, I don't know if that speaks volumes. Um, I think of the newcomers, again, like Avery Patterson, she's so poised, smart on the ball, getting into spaces. And I know that Emma had said more recently, I want to get her more tested defensively, but I'm like, but damn, man, as sort of that like wing back, she's just dynamite. And then Lily
Yeah.
Real, for the little time that she spent with this camp, um, absolutely stood out. And I don't know why I'm a little bit surprised. I guess just the juxtaposition of club and country, like you never know what you're really going to get. It's just different. She is so good. Like there were a few times I wrote my notes. I was just like, Lily, like check this out. Like she cuts up, like she came through, she, swung that cross in off her left foot. And it looked so much more polished than you'd expect for somebody out of a rookie.
For me, my two, I can't say enough good things about Avery Patterson. She looks like she's been in the team for years. She
Yeah.
looks like she belongs there. Every game she's stood out, not just doing her job, stood out. And Michelle Cooper, man, the way she just dominated her 1v1 battle today was just a pure reminder that she's quite unstoppable, honestly.
Yeah.
Like defensively in the attack, like you try to tackle her, she'll just blow by you. You try to blow by her, she'll just body you right off the ball. I mean, Ashley Lawrence is a very good defender and a very good attacker when
So
she gets
good.
forward, and she made her get subbed out. That's how good she was today. Like,
Yo,
Lisa
Ashley Lawrence.
crossed the
Ashley
field.
Lawrence had the longest game of her life tonight.
Seriously, though, because she was against Michelle Cooper, man.
She was against Michelle Cooper and Avery Patterson. In my notes in the first half, I said, I'm loving this battle between Avery Patterson and Ashley Lawrence. And then it switched, loving this battle between Ashley Lawrence and Michelle Cooper, because Cooper is winning every single time, whether it's in the attack or she's tracking back as a winger, tracking all the way back to her defensive end line and boxing out Ashley Lawrence from getting a cross on. It was so impressive, and it just goes back to the heart. And I'm also going to give Avery Patterson some love, because Homegirl looks like it is the World Cup final all seconds of the match. When is she not looking like she's hunting? She's intense. You know how Jess Fishlock plays, where she's locked in and she's like hunched over, and you're like, oh my God, I know she's reading what's happening 5 steps ahead before the play even happens. That feels like Avery Patterson, and I cannot believe how young she is.
Even the slide tackle that she pulled, I was like, oh my God, I love you more. Like, just
It was a slide and then the ball over the top.
right.
Yeah.
Like, and like that's not the most of what she did. Like those are just like standout moments that you pick out and say, ooh, like highlight reel, but she's just so smart. And I know that, the comments have been that she's highly coachable, she adapts really quickly, she's versatile. Yeah, these are all things that play right into an Emma Hayes lineup. It's insane how good she is so fast.
And to
Yeah.
the young and to the new, I want to shout out the audience. We had a question from Gabe earlier, and I actually loved it. He asked, is this a new era that we've never had in the past where there is like so much depth that we have the biggest pool that we've ever had to choose from? I think it's a yes and a no. I think in the past, head coaches at the helm haven't taken as many risks calling players in and giving them a
That
chance.
part.
So I do think that we did. I think now we have 3 teams, an A, B, and C team, a 1, 2, and 3, however you want to do it. And it's the first time we've had that in history. But that's because Emma took the chance to try new people. And I think that we have had that in the past, but they didn't get an opportunity to show it. And now we have this large pool to pick the very best people for the very most important moments.
I hear you, McCall, but I'm going to say caveat being what Emma Hayes is doing is completely unprecedented anywhere for a national team coach, what she's
No
managed
doubt.
to do.
No
And
doubt.
so what I'll say is while we may have had talent, and Lord knows, like I know, I have friends that were either bubble players or managed to get in a camp that never really got any senior team minutes because of the team that we had in a mentality. I think that it becomes this argument of like a tree falls in the forest and nobody's there to hear it. Did it ever happen? You know what I mean? This is not um a to dismiss those players that are of quality. It's just that they were never there. They never rose. We never saw this. This is we have a peek behind the curtain of what the US actually has to offer for a talent pool for the US. And we've never had this, I'll say.
And also, what you water will grow. Like we heard it on the broadcast today. They have all the resources, the recovery tools, right? So we're starting to invest more and more into our nation. So naturally, these players are going to get better and better, with their development and also with their recovery tools, better travel. Like we're going up, and that you can totally see the talent rise to that offering that we have given these players now.
And speaking of depth, players coming in late into the match. First of all, happy birthday. Tara McKeown comes in, former forward. She loves to flex it. She comes in, sets up Yasmin Ryan, squares it across the box, and Yasmin Ryan puts it away for her second goal in this set of friendlies. But I just love this because now you look at the subs for the U.S. Women's National Team, and every single one, you're like, they could start. They could have started tonight. That player could have started tonight. The depth is absolutely crazy. Before we switch over, I want to shout out one more player. Claudia, don't stress Dickey. I love seeing how calm, cool, collective, savvy she is on the ball. We got a cheeky smile here, but it's such a different contrast from what we saw with Alyssa Nair, who I think when playing against her and just seeing her play, it's tense, it's stressed. She's directing, she's commanding the space. It's always like kind of quicker movements. It's a little high strung. Claudia Dickey's chilling out, relaxing, all cool. Yeah, I absolutely love it. She had 3 saves on the night, and I think we can finally judge her performance a little bit. The first match with Ireland, we didn't get to. I don't think she hardly touched the ball, and when she did, it was offside. But how do you guys rate Dickey? How do you think she fits in moving forward? I think between her and Fallon Joyce, where do you guys think she stands? Cupo, I'll start with you.
So I think we've gotten to see a lot more of Fallon Joyce now at this point than we have Dickey. But again, I think Dickey has a lot of quality, and I do like that she somehow manages to mesh this. We've talked about it a little bit where it's like, this respect, reverence for the badge and camaraderie, but the team as a whole now also has this joy to them. Like they seem like they're having a good time. And I feel like a Claudia Dickey personality kind of really fits in there because her cheeky smiles, the way that she's like, oh yeah, I got that, laughing at the little chip that was attempted. I think she was more tested this match. Granted, like Canada weren't, guns blazing, but like she was kept
She had
occupied
to
more
stay
so
in
than
tune.
Ireland.
There was
She
one
did. She
late
had
in
like
the
a couple
game.
double saves early on. I think we saw her play a little bit with her feet, and I think that that's a good sign. So I feel like if she gets a few more minutes with this national team, we could really stoke the fires between she and Fallon Joyce, because I feel like that's the conversation that we've been having up to this point. Is it Fallon Joyce's job to lose? Well, every day that page turns, and every time we get some more quality minutes under one of these keepers, somebody gets stoked and let's go. But if you were going to ask me, I would rather see more of Dickey just to see, like let's test her more than to see McGlynn back in.
We went from 0 number ones to 2 number ones very quickly. But Claudia Dickey, you know who she reminds me of? Hope Solo. That same confidence, that same swag. And like when you play with Hope, you have so much of that. You have so much hope when she's behind you and you know that like that confidence and like she believes in herself so much, it exudes confidence into you as well. Like she just kind of has that bad A mentality, like I'm dope, doing her thing. And like for Claudia Dickey to embody that at such a young age, it's what this, you know, team needs, really.
Yeah. So, okay, both of you kind of danced around it. If you had to pick right now,
commit. Damn, Darian, you tell me. What do you think?
I need to see Fallon.
I'm a direct girl. I would go Claudia Dickey right now. I loved what I saw. I think she was assured, and I loved seeing the way that she played out in her confidence. I think that is necessary. Just even her personality is necessary to be in the squad.
Okay, Dee, I'm going to agree with you because she played against a difficult side like Canada and actually got tested, whereas Fallon, we didn't really see much of her in those moments. So she has the edge.
Cupo.
God damn it. Yeah, like you're both speaking rationally in logical words, and I agree with them. I've ridden so hard for Fallon Joyce, just like always, even for that initial call up, and then we finally arrive at this impasse. I'm not gonna lie, Claudia Dickey really impressed me, and I think that future camps, I'd throw her in the one seat. Let them, you know what? Let them have the healthy competition of, you know what, Fallon, can you step up? Can you actually play out the back with your feet? Can you be that quintessential stopper keeper that, you know, short passes out the back, composure, baller, goalkeeper? Can you do that? Or, you know, like Dickey, you see an opportunity, you take it, girl. And I do like the little cheeky smirks, man. I'm sorry, I love a good character.
Yeah, I love it. We love a good character. We love this summer window. And we're actually going to recap the rest of it, including the other 2 Ireland matches after this quick break. So stick with us. Yo, welcome back into Attacking Third. Darian Jenkins, McCall Zerboni, Christin Cupo. We are recapping the summer window for the U.S. Women's National Team. 2 matches against Ireland, 1 against Canada, all 3 shutouts, which I think is so important moving forward for the defensive side of this Women's National Team. But let's talk about, again, the first caps, the debuts, because there's been 24 players in the 24 months with Emma Hayes that have gotten their first cap and their debuts with U.S. Soccer. And McCall, I love your face seeing this right now.
Imagine we double that cool over this next year. Like it's like just throw the whole league in there. Give him a shot.
She might. We've still got some time. But just looking at this specific window, those 3 matches, all competitive. We got the most out of this Canada game. I think the players on the pitch were actually really tested. But looking at the first time call-ups, and maybe the players that got their first cap, who impressed you both the most and do you think made the most of their opportunity? Christine, I'll start with you.
First cap for this camp?
Yeah, let's go first caps, yeah.
Okay. Mentally, let's see, what do we got here? That means we got Bug.
Claudia Dickey, Lily Reel, Jordan Bug, Sam Meza, Izzy Rodriguez.
A goal scorer. We got I think I have to go, Real for me, and then maybe Izzy. Yeah, that's I gotta. I feel like she could really, especially since there's been such examination in that role, in that back line. It's a spot that needs to be grabbed, devoured, claws bared, and I feel like she's got enough moxie to do it, and I think that she's versatile enough to pull all the shifts that Emma needs of somebody in that position. And I feel like we don't have a lot of, I guess, expansive depth in that role outside of a couple of vets.
McCall, for you?
Claudia Dickey for me. That's the first name I want to say. And then Izzy Rodriguez. And I'll tell you why. I think she has an edge above Lily Real in possession. For me, Lily doesn't keep the ball well enough. I think she's a good hard-nosed defender. For me, she only has 65% possession. You can see her wasting balls, a little bit disconnected, either giving the wrong ball or just off with her timing, or sometimes even passing out of bounds. It just can't happen at this level like that. So, but for her first camp, she did great. But if she can clean up her possession a little bit, I think she'll belong there more.
I agree. The player I'm riding with again is Claudia, ice in her veins, Dickey. Like, you cannot phase this woman. I'm here with it. So I think I was so impressed with her. But looking at the rest of this, I mean, competitive matches, a lot of time together. Who on the pitch do you think made enough of a case for themselves to continuously get called into camps? For me, I'll start with this one. It's Avery Patterson. McCall, you said it earlier. She looks like she's been there. I love her intensity she plays with. She's somebody that like I would love to train with. She looks like she's going to elevate the level no matter what it is. She's going to give heart and soul to every single pass, touch, body movement, pace behind a pass, recovery. Every single thing she does is so intentional and has so much heart behind it. I think it would be crazy to not have her competing for that right or left back spot. I think she's got it. I think this window absolutely solidified that for me.
And the fact that she can play both sides, so valuable.
Yeah.
You put her on the roster, you bring her wherever you're going, you bring her because she can do right or left, no matter what happens, if somebody's injured or the opponent or whatever. And like this, I like to play this game on mine. This is what I do if I feel like somebody fits. I put them imagining playing against France, England, Germany, right? Imagine them in these games. And if they are not going to hold their own against these top sides, it's probably a leave them at home kind of situation. For me, I'm actually seeing Avery there. I really do think she'll have an impression on the field against these top countries. And then my second person is Lynn Biondolo. She brings an element that we do not have from any other players on this team. And, you know, even if it's playing 10 minutes a game, even if it's starting a game just to put the opponent under a lot of pressure, she brings some qualities that we need.
Yeah, I feel like Lynn off the bench even is better than most people.
Yeah, you can't not bring her.
So it's a hard argument. I think for me, like Cooper is becoming one for sure. I feel like she's just reliable. She's always seemed very poised, can get it done. Yeah. And you know what? I feel like Hutton has answered a few more of my questions that I previously had of her because I feel like she's had some quieter matches early on. And not that I have the full trust in her yet, but I think that she really can get there. She's got a lot of really good raw qualities.
Hutton's another one for me that I'm like, you have to bring her. To me, I'm looking her. I think McCall, is it you or Lowe that compared her to Lauren Holiday?
I said Sam Mewis.
Oh, you said Sam Mewis, and I'm pretty sure Lowe said Lauren Holiday. Like the way that she plays, the poise that she has on the ball, and then suddenly she does something so hyper technical out of nowhere, but makes it look so simple and graceful. I think Claire Hutton brings that, and she's still so young. So I think you bring her, even if it's an alternate, whatever, bring her into camp because I love the chemistry between her, Coffey, and Lavelle.
Well, I think
that's one of the strongest midfields
Claire
we've seen
Hutton
in a while.
Yeah, Claire Hutton came and trained with us last summer, and she was good then, and how much better she's gotten just in a year. What she's performing now, imagine her in 2 years. Like if she keeps progressing at this rate, she is absolutely going to be considered a starter for us or someone that we need to take to tournaments.
What did she improve on from when she trained with you to now that you can just totally see?
Her range of passing. She definitely worked on that. And just her positioning in the midfield. I think sometimes she would go ball hunting and then so she'd be out of position. And then she just started to realize the mentality of like, hey, I'm a holding midfielder now, because she used to be an attacking midfielder. She wanted to use all the sauce on the ball, but now she's in a lower position and you can't go hunting. You can't go missing. You really have to hold down that pocket in front of the back line. And she's really learning her more soccer IQ and her positioning as well as her technique with long range passing.
Yeah, I agree. Cupo, you with that? Like that's what she adds to this team?
Yeah,
you need to see
do.
more?
I feel like the thing is, I feel like when she first started, it was quiet. I think now there's this like sure-footedness Is that what I'm looking for, the word? Sure, we'll go with
Yeah.
that. To her that has been progressive. The thing is with her is I think we continue to see her moving forward, where I think if anything, especially for a young player, like that's what you need to see, right? Like show that you're coachable, show that you have really good football IQ, where you can go, how much you can add to this team. And I think she's done that.
Yeah, I completely agree. Well, let's zoom out and let's take a look at, despite all of the European players not being in camp, taking their rest, doing whatever they need to do, even though we saw Lily Johannes at the game, she came and showed up. I absolutely love that. Let's rank the let's rank the position pool. So let's start with forwards. And I'm going to do a little fun game that I've done on Morning Footy. Cupo, I feel like you may have done this, where we do -3 to 3. So
Yeah.
0 is neutral. 3 plus 3 is the most positive it could possibly be. But this is how we're going to rank it. Cool? McCall?
All the
Stressing me out
nonsense out
already.
there. Love you. You're all great.
Everybody's great. But let's rank the forwards. How do we rank the current player pool position as forwards right now? I'm going to say, yeah, I can start. I'm going to go 2.
Because you think we're missing some vital pieces?
I am looking forward to when we see the triple espresso players back, what that does to the competition. I think that's going to give a different type of edge to who's going to be constantly effective in front of goal, no matter who you're playing with. I think right now we see relationships that are building between certain players and it looks really good. But when things are switched around, are you getting the best out of everybody? Who can come through that adversity and shine, even when you don't have the strongest relationship with those around you, or you have to switch up tactically? So that's the next evolution I want to see. But I'm going with the 2. I'm feeling hot about our front line.
Coop, you ready?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm in between like a 2 or a 1. 1's good, right? Yeah.
Do a 1. Why?
Tell us
Why?
why,
I'm
though.
gonna go 1 because I feel like we have a lot of attacking talent, and they're not all one size fits all. Everybody has their own little kind of lane specialty that they can throw in the hat if we need be. And I think that in my head, I'm like, you know what? We can't necessarily count on the players that are out on maternity leave or otherwise returning. So in my head, I'm like, yeah, sure. If they come back, that's a great bonus and we'll see what they have. But in the meantime, everyone else is progressing nicely. So it's like, you know, they'll be fighting for their spot by the time we get to that impasse. And that will be a good problem to have. So I don't think I'm not worried about the US in terms of attackers. I think we're in a really good spot.
McCall?
I'm going to go 2 strictly for execution purposes. I think we're getting the chances, but we need to be a little bit more refined in the final third and get that ball over the white line on those chances that we have. And it's fun to watch and it's oohs and ahs, but at the end of the day, we have to bury those chances, and because it's going to be all the
Agreed.
difference.
Yeah, there just needs to be a little bit more. Well, let's move to midfield. Although I'm loving this trio we had in this match in particular, I don't know if we're seeing the depth that's just as effective yet. So I'm going to go with a 1, starting with our midfield. I want to see that same level consistently with the players that we're bringing in. So, like, say if Coffey's not in there, how does that really change? How much do you guys think the level off? I think it would be really significant.
Oh yeah, big time. I think that the plug and play there, we have a lot less flexibility in terms of what we can do and be impactful with just based on one change, right? We've seen Heaps, we've seen Coffee, we've seen Hutton get plugged in there, we've seen Lily Johannes get plugged in there. I feel like the options change, but almost change that midfield a lot more than probably any of the other lines based on personnel that we currently have. Not in a bad way, just that I feel like there's the clear, stronger starting lineup, and then it's a little bit step down, 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 down. So there I'll say, well, Rose, Jesus. Yeah, we're in a good place. I feel like I'm being generous.
What's the
I mean,
number?
I'm gonna go 1. I'm gonna go 1.
Okay. McCall?
Yeah, I'm a 1 as well. I think the players that were here and the players that were missing honestly have similar attributes. There's not a dynamic that I think, oh man, if we had that, it would be a completely different like lock and key. Maybe like a little bit more edge on quality and experience and leadership, obviously, because it was a little bit of a youth midfield. But yeah, I gotta go like 1.5.
Okay. We're all kind of similar. I think we're all on a very similar vibe. That's where I think the chemistry hasn't fully come together yet on this team. And we're still waiting for it to all fizz. All right, defenders. Germa was back. I think that ups the points quite a bit. McCall, I'll let you start this one.
I think we're a 2. I do.
Yeah.
Germa still looks a little bit like she's getting herself back, which is understandable. She was out for a little bit of a time. But I think Sonnet and Germa really complement each other. But again, I didn't really see Germa have to like stretch or chase anybody down or like mad threat in behind, right? We really haven't been tested. But what's really shining for me to make it a 2 is our outside backs that stepped up. Like Avery, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, Lily Real having a good performance for how young she is in her first camp. And then you get Foxy back in the mix, Dunn back in the mix. I mean, my goodness, come on.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I feel like God, my brain is just flipping through the Rolodex of defenders that we've tried, right? Because there has been so many options. The McKeown, Patterson, Dunn, who's been in that role, Sonnet, Germa, Sams, Abello, Foxy. They're all good defenders. I just feel like we have some tinkering to do, especially in shoring up, I guess, sort of that left back spot again. Avery Patterson being able to play either side, I feel like is kind of a boon because I feel like Foxy is kind of quintessential on the right side. So I'm like, I'm gonna be a little bit more bullish on this. I'm gonna say 2.
I'm going to go 2.5. I love our back line. I think we have depth. We've got firepower. We've got people that can go 1v1. Everybody can cross. I am confident. I think the U.S. Women's national team, what outside back crisis? Now we've got too many people. I think it's set.
True.
Thank you for this because defense wins championships. Everybody knows. So that makes me feel good.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Last but not least, keeper. We now have, what do we say, two starting goalkeepers? Post Alyssa Nair era. Cupo, I'll let you start us on this one.
I don't even need an explanation.
Yeah, you know what? You good? You good,
Take it away,
Darian?
Call.
I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go 3. 3. I like our keeper situation. Yeah, I feel like. Yeah, I'm gonna be overly jolly and say 3. Say 3.
Why?
I mean, let's. Okay, so Emma Hayes has called up in her tenure now. Jane Campbell, Aubrey Kingsbury, Casey Murphy, Fallon Tullis-Joyce, Mandy McGlynn, Claudia Dickey, Angelina Anderson. I feel like she's kind of called everybody into camp at this point. I think that McGlynn is good. I think that if we have a Fallon Tullis-Joyce and Claudia Dickey, like goalkeeper wars, like let's just like fight to the death. Whatever's got to happen happens. I feel like we're going to be in a good position no matter what. Maybe that's me being overly optimistic. I think this is probably the first time that in the US program we haven't had like that definitive heir apparent for a goalkeeper. Like US goalkeepers are absolutely fire, brick wall, like will be the field general. The question is like who can tick all those boxes. I think right now I'm okay. I'm gonna be overly enthusiastic.
You said 3?
Yeah.
McCall, how many points are you docking off of Christine's 3?
Damn. Come on. Whatever. I love it.
Listen, even Zeta had a protest because she all of a sudden jumped up when I said that, and she's like, "Girl, I've been watching all these games too. What is happening?"
So we're on lock in the back,
Paul.
y'all. Our back line's a 3 and our keepers are a 3 based on you two.
I'm going keepers a 1. No, I'm going keepers a 1. I don't think, I almost feel like it's, when are we going to get one keeper that gets the real opportunities? We're testing a lot. We're not getting tested. especially playing out of the back. I think that's a big thing. How are you going to get tested on shot stopping? We see that here and there, but not enough consistently, which we got from Alyssa Nair. No matter what time it was in the game, how late it was, the weather, whatever, the pressure, the circumstance, we haven't seen it yet. So I can rave all about Claudia Dickey and Valentolas Joyce, but I need an actual test. We need to face a team like an England, a Spain, a Brazil, where it's going to be mayhem, a Colombia, to actually figure out who's cut out for it. Cupo? Any thoughts?
I'm just conferring with Gabe in the chat that, like, we were both kind of swinging like a pendulum between which one's the good one. Fine, one.
Okay. I love it. Well, vibes are high with the U.S. Women's National Team. I'm looking forward to the next break. I can't see who else Emma Hayes is going to bring in and give a debut. Maybe one of us. Who knows? But everybody, yeah, McCall's already got it. She's got
I know,
it.
that's what I'm saying. She's going to be a repeat. To be like, McCall, girl, what are you doing? Are you busy?
She's like, I'm filming. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
No, but vibes are high. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for all of your questions. We absolutely loved it. Shout out to Lisa and Sandra for being in the chat too. Happy birthday, Alex Morgan, Tara, Mickey Yone. And shout out to T Money in the chat because he emailed us a pic from the field where they were watching the A3 recap show after the women's national team. So shout out to T Money. We appreciate the support.
T Money, you're the realist.
Love you guys. Yeah, the real one. But don't forget, Attacking Third will return tomorrow, Thursday, July 3rd at 5 p.m. Eastern here with Sandra, myself, and Lori Lindsay, y'all, because we're going to be reacting from the Euros, taking a quick look in Switzerland after some of the matches. So don't forget, you want to tune into that 5 p.m. tomorrow. So for McCall, Christine, producer Mark, I'm Darian. This is Attacking Third.